Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes, and welcome to another ultimate counter compilation video. And this one we'll be looking at Negotiator counters. Now Negotiator counters, most of them still work, the ones that they worked really well before, but obviously with introduction with Marauder they might get a little bit trickier, and then some of them are like edge cases, like maybe Finalizer or Radus, although I did obviously release yesterday like a proof of concept how Radus potentially could take down a Negotiator, but definitely I did not have any luck with Finalizer. But luckily all others still seem to work pretty well. Alright, so I'll just first kick off here with the Empire fleets. Now there are various comps, you can use Chimaera, Executrix. I'll just show you a couple of different ideas I put here together. And in terms of reinforcements, I think pretty much it's been settled that people put on Marauder, Y-Wing and Anakin, I think. And then for reinforcements usually you have Plo, Ahsoka and 5s, at least that's from what I've been saying. So that's what I'll be having in all of these battles I'm about to show you in terms of reinforcements. So let's start off with Chimaera. So this is maybe if you don't have Scythe, then Chimaera, you can have the starting lineup with a TIE Advanced, a TIE Fighter, TIE Bomber, and of course with TIE Interceptor in there we can reinforce straight away, which will help us out a bit. Also worth mentioning obviously is the speeds here. Now without Scythe, a Relic 9 TIE Advanced will be slower than the enemy Negotiator, so it's gonna be a bit of a messy start because of that. So if your Darth Vader is faster, then it's gonna be a bit cleaner potentially. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead, get a hit on Anakin, and because TIE Advanced at Relic 7 slower than a Relic 9 Negotiator, right, they were able to nuke out TIE Advanced before it got a turn. Otherwise you could get obviously Anakin in the red, and then they would use Unending Loyalty, not Mass Assist. So a bit of a tough start to begin with. But first reinforcement, I did bring in TIE Interceptor, so you dispel on everybody Valor, so you kind of slow down Negotiator. That's why TIE Interceptor coming out first, if obviously your TIE Advanced is slower. And here, let's just go ahead, call Assist here, get Anakin out, so we don't have to worry about him with Valor, right, gaining bonus turn meter, things like that. We still have to do with Marauder though. Okay, so looks like they're bringing in 5s. There goes the TIE Interceptor. I know things look a bit rough, but we got now TIE Defender coming in, and then on our next turn we'll be able to already use Ultimate and insta-kill somebody. There we go, let's go ahead. Unfortunately Marauder in stealth, so I can't get to him. A bit unfortunate, it's what I would prefer to do, but instead I just decided to take out 5s, and we'll go now after Y-Wing. We can now finally go ahead, get a Marauder out of stealth. They just did basic there. Let's see, I'm just gonna keep hammering their Y-Wing because their Marauder has crit damage immunity, so we can't do a whole lot. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the AoE. Let's see if we can take down Y-Wing. There we go. What they've got for us, Plo. Alright, fine. I guess we'll have to deal with it. Let's go ahead and bring in another reinforcement. So we're gonna go ahead, bring in Pulp, get target locks going. We can now get a stun on Marauder with TIE Defender, and we'll just keep pinging away at Marauder. Not much else we can do now. We're kind of stuck behind a taunt. Here comes the Unending Loyalty. They refuse to go down, these guys. Let's go ahead and heal up TIE Defender a bit, get some buffs going and debuffs on the enemy. I'm just gonna keep going. There we go. We exhausted the Savior over on Marauder, finish him down, and now just a case of wow, Plo's got Unending Loyalty, so we can't insta kill him, but yeah, at least we can recover health and protection. TIE Defender, get Marauder down, and now we can just go ahead and finish him and win the battle. So Chimaera still works, but obviously if your TIE Advanced is gonna be faster than them, then you can get Anakin in red, and they'll start off with Unending Loyalty, not Mass Assist, over on your TIE Advanced as I've shown you there. But if this happens, you can still kind of pull out a win. It's just gonna be a bit messier than it should have been. And then if you do have Scythe, you can start with Scythe there. Now obviously with the change, well, with the fix to Scythe, right, we do no longer get the Scythes here summoned with the Scythe, but at least what Scythe brings you is plus 10 speed, for your Empire allies. So this then allows, you know, lower relic Darth Vader to outrun a high relic General Kenobi with that +10 speed. So then you're gonna see the difference obviously with how this will play out. So we do that, and again TIE Advance, because of that speed boost, gets a turn before Negotiator. We get Anakin down, then they start off with Unending Loyalty instead of the Mass Assist, so Darth Vader is still alive in this one. And now because of this, we now bring in TIE Defender as the first reinforcement, not TIE Interceptor as we did before. So hopefully we can start dodging. Do know that basic from Anakin cannot be evaded, just something to highlight. Just my luck, Scythe got their ability blocked, but we'll just keep going. Okay. Alright, hanging in there. Lots of dodging. Let's go ahead now, bring in TIE Interceptor, get everybody out of stealth, finish off Anakin. Not quite. Gonna begin Plow. Again, Plow. Okay, let's get a stun. Good. And I think, yeah, we got above the spell with the Scythe now, so we can get rid of the taunt and finally finish off Anakin. There we go. Down he goes. And now we go after Plow. He doesn't have Unending Loyalty. Again, you have ultimate, that's fine. Just go ahead. I'm just gonna use it here. Finish off Y-Wing. Just go ahead. Finish off Del Plow. And I was just down to Marauder, which, you know, we should be good now. So as you can see, if you got Scythe, or obviously their your TIE Advance is faster than their Kenobi, battles will be a lot cleaner just because they will not use Mass Assist and immediately gun down TIE Advanced as it did in battle number 1. But that's why I'm going to show you kind of both versions here, just that you see the difference in how it all works. That's it, basically. One shot and down he goes. If you got Scythe, then you could also do Executrix. But again, we need TIE Advance starting, right, for the TIE Interceptor cooldown reduction. And then we'll start with Gauntlet. It's a very fast ship as well, and obviously TIE Defender as another reinforcement. But here obviously we do get the summoned because it's Executrix lead. We're gonna go ahead, drop the buff immunity over on Anakin. Okay, so he won't go under stealth when we do get him down, I guess. If we can get to him, that is. Let's go ahead and drop an AoE. Okay. They do their AoE of their own, again with the ability blocks. Marauder is such a pain. Alright, we're just gonna do basic there. Let's go ahead and cleanse those ability blocks so we can get Foresight going, dodging and everything. Let's get basic over there. Let's get some turn meter, defense penetration up, offense up, and there we go. Let's get above this spell going, and now we can go after Anakin. But okay, they brought in 5, is not Plow. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead, get Anakin down. Unending Loyalty expired, so he's back in the stealth. Let's go ahead and dispel the taunt there. Put a hit over on Marauder. Alright, we did a decent hit on him. Not fine. Looks like it's not gonna get very pretty. Here you will want to bring in a TIE Interceptor, not TIE Defender, just to get debuff, dispel buffs as well on the enemies. Valor most importantly, right? So you stop their ultimate. Finally took down Anakin. Bit of a rough one. This usually it's a cleaner battle, but I didn't want to, like, you know, cherry pick the battles. Look, if the battle goes a little bit wrong, you know, just at least shows you kind of almost worst case scenario how these battles will go. But definitely seems like for the most part Chimaera is a little bit better equipped than Executrix to deal with these guys. Maybe partially because those summoned TIE fighters that Scythe summoned at the start kind of prevented us to bring in reinforcements. So definitely, if it was up to me, I would most likely be doing Chimaera versus Negotiator, not Executrix. But I just wanted to show you both versions because, you know, both can work well, more or less well, I guess. And I just down, you know, have to get through the Marauder. And again, right here we don't have the insta kill that also recovers all health and protection of the target allies. Definitely Executrix It's gonna be a bit messy, but again, I'm showing it just that you know, you don't go like, oh, what about Executrix if I just show you Chimaera, right? Just that you can see how this one works. There we go. Marauder down, Anakin down. You know, battle is won at this point after you do that. Nice dodge there. Finish off Y-Wing, and we are just down to Ahsoka. An ultimate there would have killed Ahsoka and it would be a win. Okay, so let's move on over to another kind of OG counter, which is Malevolence. The Malevolence has always been a bit of a messy counter, and Marauder is not making it any less messy, that's for sure. So let's go ahead, hop in the battle, and yeah, see how many ships we can keep alive, right? They're gonna go ahead. Bye-bye Vulture Droid, but that's okay. Another one is summoned in its place. Let's just let them do all their attacks, I guess. Let's go ahead and cleanse the debuffs here. Right. Okay. Well, let's get Buzzies going, so at least we can start doing some damage. Let's get a stun over on Y-Wing. Well, the After at 5s, that's fun, I guess. Okay, looks like Sanafak won't be around much for longer. Let's go ahead and bring in Spy. This is now a bit of, I guess, an RNG fest. Who you expose there, who you put Force Taunt on. The Marauder, not the ideal scenario, because the Marauder is very durable and it's got Savior, right? Ideally that would be Anakin, but that's not always the case. Anyway, I'll just keep pinging away the Y-Wing, because otherwise it's taunting constantly anyways. So got rid of that. And now we can ignore the taunt. We got Anakin out of stealth. Oh, so close. There we go. Buzz droids for the win there. Finished off Anakin. Bring in Ahsoka. Let's go ahead. I guess we're just gonna head smack an AoE just that we summon another Vulture droid. We've got Buzz droids already over on Marauder, so I'm gonna save the Buzz droid ability for the next one. Here comes an AoE. Finish off Marauder. Ah, so close. Don't you dare bring Implo. There we go. Marauder down. Do you see Spy there? And my Spy is Relic 7, guys. Yeah, definitely not a preferred counter. This is probably the least effective counter to Negotiator, but it's like, you know, if you got no other choice, at least you can pick the fleet apart and, you know, do a cleanup if this is Grand Arena or Territory Wars. Where is it, Iron Cannon? We really need it right now. Oh boy. Hang in there, guys, hang in there. Iron Cannon is on the way. Oh boy. Alright, so you can see definitely even messier than it used to be, but you can still squeeze out a win. But you know, not sure how reliable it is. But just wanted to show you, because if I don't, you know, people probably ask, hey, does Malevolence still work? It works-ish, I would say. It's definitely, I think, the last resort, really, if you got nothing better in your arsenal. There we go, a win, barely. And here is the home one. So if you don't have Profundity, I decided, you know what, this is kind of the OG counter, right, with the Rebels. We got, even before Outrider, right, we just started Bistan, Biggs, Hans Falcon, Cassian, and then Y-Wing as the reinforcement. So I'm like, does this still work with Marauder in there? Let's give it a shot. Alright, Bistan, very fast ship. Obviously you do need to have Pathfinder and Bistan Relic tab though. We go, we get some nice assists. Get Anakin down so they don't use the AoE to begin with. They're gonna go ahead and smack an AoE and another AoE. What I like to do here is heal up their Biggs, because Biggs is taunting, right? Need to get off that healing immunity so it can keep recovering protection or whatever. Let's go ahead and keep taunt off their Y-Wing. Again, go after Anakin. Healing up a bit. What I've got for us in the reinforcement department. Okay, they brought in 5s, which is fine, I guess. Biggs hanging in there. Time to bring in Cassian with the spell, the buffs, right? Meaning we get Anakin out of stealth. We can go ahead and get an assist, get Anakin down. So first troublemaker down. We have to now start working on the second troublemaker, which is Marauder. The reason why I targeted there with bigs with Y-Wing, because Y-Wing was target locked, so I got an assist when I used the special. Here comes the daze. A bit unfortunate, but everybody's dazed. Anyway, I'll just smack an AoE, at least Cassian there. I was able to get an assist. Oh, that was Beast, I'm sorry. I mixed up my U-Wings, apologies. I'm gonna keep pinging away there at 5s. They got a Ahsoka coming in. Just do a basic. Finish him up. Yeah, we go. 5s is down. Let's go ahead after Marauder now. Okay, here comes his bonus turn. Has to use an AoE. And we can now go ahead and bring in our second and final reinforcement, which is Y-Wing. Let's go ahead and finish off Marauder. Alright, basic. Let's get an assist. Marauder down and just down to Ahsoka. So I was surprised to see that actually Home 1 still works very well, that Marauder changes nothing for the original Home 1 counter. Again, if you do have obviously Profundity, some of these ships you may want to use with Profundity, but if you don't have Profundity, it's good to see that Home 1 can still get the job done. Speaking of Profundity, yeah, obviously, you know, if Home 1 can take down Negotiator, surely Profundity can as well. But it might not be as clean as you would think. Alright, I like to get Tenacity up just for some extra speed. And then in case you don't get enough assist to get Anakin down or something, right? Then at least you'll be able to resist the daze. There we go. So at least we're able to resist the daze and all the debuffs coming our way, especially the healing immunity that Anakin potentially could apply on our Y-Wing. And then we can just start going after Anakin now. What they got for us? Bring in Plow this time. Okay, AI mixing it up in today's battles, looks like. Alright, got rid of the taunt. Let's shake off the daze. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Phantom now. Hopefully a big hit. There we go. Again, healing up Anakin. Man, he is difficult to take down, isn't it? Right, okay. Alright. Now let's go ahead and go after Plow, see if we can get an assist from Falcon. Nope, to remove the Valor, but we did get it there. There we go, bring up Ghost again, get Anakin out of stealth, and finally bring him down. There we go. Alright, good. And they're bringing in 5s now, which is fine. I'm gonna go ahead, go after Plow, so he doesn't again, you know, put taunt on Marauder or somebody else, I don't know. Let's go ahead, start working towards download progress, and we'll just keep going after Marauder here. Do an AoE. Okay, there we go. So, alright, this was a lot cleaner than I thought it would be. Yeah, you never know, I guess, with Profundity, with these assists and Falcon. For the most part, you know, it's gonna be a nice clean battle, but so was Home 1, wasn't it? Anyway, let's go ahead, knock out Marauder, knock out Y-Wing, knock out 5s, and you know, we can basically probably finish this with a full banner win, so that we're like, what, 75? So, you know, nice one there, I guess. Just Y-Wing, and it's gonna be a win. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Now, I did not include Leviathan and Executor because, you know, it would be like almost pointless. It's gonna be an easy win, and it's not what you really want to use them for to counter Negotiators. You can see other ships, even Profundity. I would say Profundity is not an overkill because Profundity, as you've seen from my videos, got a lot of off-meta counters that are quite reliable. So, you know, I think it's not a bad use to use Profundity on Negotiator for a nice max banner win. If you're pressed for banner, you could maybe even do it with 1 reinforcement, maybe no reinforcements. I don't know, that could be tricky, but sometimes it's better to bring in more reinforcements and you end up with a full health and protection, rather than try to, you know, get an extra banner by not bringing in a reinforcement and then you can't finish off with full health and protection. Just my thought, really. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Hopefully you found it useful and helpful. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.